Have you ever wondered how you could own part of your beloved sports team? You've probably written it off because you're not a billionaire, but there is still a chance, and I want to show you how. There's been a lot of changes in the last few years that have opened the door for people and regular fans like you and me to own part of our favorite teams. And it will shock you how little of an investment is required to be a part of the action. In 2019, a series of rule changes by major leagues, MLB, NHL, NBA, MLS, have allowed certain investment groups to take a minority interest in their respective teams. Currently, the NFL rules prohibit institutional ownership, including sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, and private equity firms, but could be changing very soon as the league and its owners are discussing approval for private equity ownership. I was born and raised in Colorado, and when I saw the Denver Broncos recently go for sale, it made me dream a little bit about what it would be like to own just a little sliver of the team. Because the Broncos were so much a part of my childhood. I remember when I was 8 years old watching the Broncos go to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, but not winning one of them. In 1990, we were getting beat so badly by the 49ers, I went outside to play basketball during the fourth quarter because I just couldn't watch it anymore. Then in 1998, we got back to the Super Bowl with John Elway, who was nearing his retirement, and left everything on the field just for one last shot at football glory. We went on to win back-to-back Super Bowls in 1998 and 99. Then Elway retired at the peak of his career. Did you notice how I said we won? That's how it feels when you're a fan, like you're part of the team. I'm sure you've got similar stories of your favorite sports teams. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite sports memory is, as long as it doesn't involve Joe Montana winning the Super Bowl 24. In 2022, the Denver Broncos were sold for $4.65 billion to the Walter Penner Family Ownership Group. The group was made up of Walmart heirs and other ultra-wealthy investors, including minority investment from a Formula One race legend, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's share of the team was worth approximately $9 million, which is 0.2% stake. While 0.2% doesn't sound like much, it does allow Hamilton to become an owner of one of the best alternative investments, sports teams. In today's video, I'm going to share why you should consider pro sports team ownership and how you can take advantage of the latest rule changes that are opening the door to more sports fans. If this has you excited, hit that subscribe button, tap the like and the thumbs up. It's proven that subscribers to my channel are 10 times more likely to become owners of professional sports teams. Why invest in professional sports teams? Between 2012 and 2022, the S&P 500 returned approximately 11% annually. The Russell 2000 returned 8%. Over the same time period, the big four leagues, NBA, MLB, NFL, and NHL, combined for 18% compounded returns. Between 2002 and 2021, the average price for an NBA team rose 1,057%. By comparison, the S&P 500 returned a total of 458% over that time period. Over the past 100 years, North American major leagues have survived pandemics, lockouts, world wars, player strikes, depressions, recessions, and everything else in between. Sports teams have shown to be very durable assets. In 2014, football legend David Beckham secured the rights to own an MLS expansion team. 4 years later, he invested $25 million as part of a group that founded Inter Miami CF. By 2022, Inter Miami CF was valued at $600 million. The team's valuation jumped to $1 billion after Beckham helped recruit Lionel Messi. In 2010, Michael Jordan bought the Charlotte Hornets for $275 million. 13 years later, in 2023, he sold a majority stake for $3 billion while still holding on to a minority position. How do teams make money? League revenue. Each team receives a pro rata share of profits generated by the league itself. If there's 32 teams, each team receives 1/32 of the total. The league is responsible for selling media rights, sponsorships, and more. The media rights have gone up tremendously in the value of the past couple decades. TV networks and their advertisers are becoming desperate as cord cutting is eroding their ability to reach target customers via cable television. In 2019, 92 of the top 100 highest rated programs on TV were sporting events. Another force behind surging league revenues is streaming wars. Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and YouTube are battling it out to become the dominant streaming player, and all of them want the coveted rights to live sports. On May 15, 2024, Netflix and NFL unveiled a 3-year deal that will see the streaming service run live games on Christmas Day. It's a remarkable pack and a blockbuster move in terms of Netflix expanding its push into sports and the league growing a group of media partners. Netflix content chief said of the NFL deal, "Last year, we decided to take a big bet on live and tapping into massive fandoms across comedy, reality TV, and sports and more." Also quoted as saying, "There are no live annual events, sports or otherwise, that compare with the audiences NFL football attracts." In addition to league revenues, the teams each generate their own revenue from various sources like local media, live events, real estate, licensing, concessions, luxury boxes, and much more. Many teams own their venue and pick up all the additional revenue from concerts, events, esports, etc. Some teams have wisely purchased much of the surrounding real estate, from parking garages to hotels and apartments to retail. Premium seating experiences have become another significant source of corporate revenues as local companies use them for entertaining their clients. Media rights have gone from last place in revenue to first place in just the last 10 years as compared to ticket sales, merchandising, and sponsorships. Legalization of sports betting could add more value to the rights contracts as a result of increased consumption and engagement. For the NFL specifically, media rights are expected to increase by 18% due to illegal sports betting, according to Nielsen estimates cited by PwC. On its own, legalized sports betting is projected to be worth as much as $6 billion in the US by 2023. How are teams valued? They take into account popularity of the sport, the success of the team, the strength of the market, the stadium, the arena, as well as the financial strength of the organization. And they also use it, what's interesting is the comparable purchases of other teams, similar to the real estate market when you have a comparable home for sale. That's why, the biggest home in the block or the most expensive home on the block gets the biggest price and it boosts up everyone else. So when somebody purchases a sports team for a high valuation, it just helps all the other sports teams as well. Speaking of popularity of a sport determining its value, have you heard of pickleball? Yep, that sport for lazy tennis players. Well, it's kind of a big deal. Professional pickleball teams are sold for $5 million or more lately. According to the website Pickleheads, there are 36 million players in the US, there's a 223% growth rate in the last 3 years, and there's a 7.7% forecasted compound annual growth rate through 2028. So how do you invest in sports teams? There are 3 ways that you can become an owner of a sports team, assuming you aren't a billionaire. You can actually buy stock in publicly traded companies like the Atlanta Braves holding company, which is BATRA, which is the ticker symbol. You could purchase Madison Square Garden Sports, MSGS is their ticker symbol, and Manchester United, the football team or soccer team, whatever it's called, which is ticker symbol MANU. This is by far the easiest way to buy a share in those companies, but definitely limits you to the teams and maybe you're not interested in those sports. Invest with private equity for a minority interest in a team. You could use companies like CAZ Investments. CAZ utilizes a collective purchasing power to command greater access to private markets in areas like energy, real estate, private credit, and professional sports teams. In order to invest with a private equity firm, you'll need to meet specific criteria and have a sizable investment. You'll need to be a qualified purchaser or an accredited investor. In the simplest terms, qualified purchaser status is afforded to a person or a family business that holds an investment portfolio with a value of over $5 million. An accredited investor is an individual with a net worth in excess of $1 million minus the value of their primary home. Instead of using net worth, an individual can be capable of demonstrating an annual income of over $200,000 or greater. That income must exceed $300,000 annually if you're filing a joint status. If you don't meet those requirements, there is another way to qualify as an accredited investor. You can actually pass a Series 65 license exam to qualify as an accredited investor to bypass those income requirements or net worth requirements. And last but not least is using crowdfunding sites like Republic or Seedrs if you live in the UK. This is an exciting opportunity for sports fans to become owners or backers of sports teams for very little upfront investment. Take Orange County Soccer Club, for example. Over 1,400 Republic investors helped Orange County SC raise over $594,000. This money will help America's top player development club recruit and train more future stars, boost their digital reach, and fill seats in their beautiful new stadium in Irvine, California, Championship Soccer Stadium. For as little as $100, fans of Orange County Soccer Club can get equity in the team and get support for a team they believe in. If you invested more, you could get perks like private dinner with the team manager or a player and go play a round of golf with one of the players. Owning a piece of a professional sports team is not only a great investment opportunity, but it's also a fun way to stay connected to the sport you love. If you have new money that you're looking to invest, but aren't sure if it's best to invest all of it at once or dollar cost average it in over time, I'd recommend watching this video next.